Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another weekly Wednesday live stream. I'm Peter.
I'm still Eric.
Of course. Welcome. Thanks for joining today.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas as always. Throughout the whole year, of course.
Yep. Except with Christmas.
Well, yeah. Then we don't wish you a
No, well,
Merry Christmas.
I mean, probably somebody will change the status by then.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm not sure if the bot is still going at it, but you know. Anyway, glad to see you, everybody here. Today, obviously, we're going to be talking about the RTX 4060 Ti. And I should actually maybe also say 8 gig after that because, well, as you'll see, the 16 gig version was also announced by NVIDIA.
I heard somebody. There was a rumor that you were going to convince everybody that 8 gigs was enough.
What? No, it depends.
Oh.
The thing is, I have plenty of examples where it's enough, and I can also make some examples where it's not enough.
Okay, cool.
You go look for the limits, you find them.
Yeah,
right.
And for sure they are there.
That's the thing. Right. So yeah, I've got two of them actually here. Both are triple fan, as you can see.
Holy moly! Is that a 4090 or a 4060?
No. This is a 4060 Ti actually. Both of them are. Yeah.
Wow.
So we've got the, this one is the Gaming X Trio, of course, and we have the Ventus 3X. Now we do have other cards, and we'll go over the details and which ones they are later. But yeah, these are the ones that we have here in the studio today. They're also, as per usual, they're not 100% final. There are some oddities about these cards, but I'll point them out when they occur and when you can actually see them. Because these are cards that have been sent to our office, like pre-production cards for testing, for validation purposes, and we're borrowing them basically from our technical staff for the purposes of this live stream. But it's not major. It's mostly cosmetic differences, small ones. Will we be breaking stuff today? Well, that is part of the plan, yeah, that perhaps we will open one or both of them up. Indeed.
You said breaking.
Well,
and you told me before we started.
I know.
You
I
got
had to make a promise.
instructions.
Otherwise, I actually wasn't allowed to take these cards if I had to make the promise and sign a document that Eric was not going to be the one to do a teardown.
Yeah.
Because we all know how that goes, right? I mean.
Well, you know, maybe I had some bad luck in the past.
Yeah, call it bad luck. But if it happens a bit more consistently, then, you know, it's not bad luck anymore. Anyway, yeah, so I'll be the one with the screwdriver and opening it up if we even get to that, because we first want to cover some stuff. And obviously we also want to benchmark them, or at least one of them, live on this rig here. So yeah, to do that, obviously the card has to be together, right? It has to be assembled, so.
The stress testing, yeah.
No, breaking stress test. Yeah, the question is, whose stress are we testing? Because if Eric starts tearing apart a product, my stress levels go through the roof. So you're basically stress testing me at that point, and I think a lot of viewers as well. Anyway.
We have a giveaway as well. Go to msi.com/2/insider
yes.
on YouTube and Twitch. In the chat there will be a link, I assume. If you click on it, you can participate in our Gleam giveaway. Today we're going to give away the Steam wallet codes.
Yes.
It's time that we give away a game, not? Long time ago.
Isn't there a yes? I mean, I would agree. The thing is that, you know, which game? It's because it's always very specific, right? I mean, a lot of you guys probably already have a lot of games, especially if it's a nice game. But yeah, if there's a new game coming out, maybe at some point in the future we can arrange something. We always try to arrange stuff like that, but it seems to be complicated. Sometimes it's just, you know, the game codes themselves are a bit complicated, but it's also usually they're region locked, so you have to, I mean, obviously we have viewers from all over the world, so, you know, then we have to kind of account for that, and it's, you know, we don't want to have to kind of cut anybody out of a giveaway if at all possible.
Why are there 3 4060s? I think you're going to explain that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, no, actually, I'm not going to explain why. Because I don't work for NVIDIA, so I don't really know the reason why.
Maybe he's referring to the MSI assortment.
No, well then he's actually one short, because there are 4 from MSI.
Yeah.
And that's not a 4060, that's a 4060 Ti actually. The 8 gig version has 4 variants, which will be available, so yeah.
Well, I think they all cater to a different segment, and as you know, the 4060 Ti 8 gig launched yesterday.
Actually, the on shelf is today. The review,
you can buy it today.
Reviews went online yesterday, but the on shelf, you can actually buy it starting today. Yes.
Yeah, and the other ones will be later, and obviously the 16 gig should have more performance in certain situations, better some games, and the 4060. I mean, it should have less performance. That's it. So it's just to complete the product stack.
Yeah. But I have some specs. Well, actually, not for the 4060, but I have some specs later on to compare. Put things into perspective in the current RTX 40 lineup with this card. Maybe before we start, I will show these cards individually. And compare them so you at least have some idea. So this is the gaming card. Of course, it's a Gaming X Trio.
Is it RGB?
It does have RGB, yes.
Nice.
So there's 3 Torx-Fan 5s here in here. Ball bearings, of course, so very durable. You can see also through the fan blades the wave curved. Where are we? Here we go. The wave curved cooling solution on the heatsink. So that's to stop basically a lot of the noise coming from the airflow. On this side you can see, well, this is actually one of the cosmetic things I was talking about. These heat pipes are copper color basically. On the finished product that you would buy, these would be silver. They have nickel coating then, so they would be more silver. But also there you can see the deflectors. So basically those push the air more towards, for example, directly onto the heatsink, the heat pipes, that's where the air is really the heat is really concentrated. You asked about RGB. RGB is on the front, so of course there are the 3 stripes here, and they go a little bit over the edge like that, and at the bottom as well, but they are on the other side there, and also towards the bottom there. So that's where the RGB is located. And here, and this is the other cosmetic change on this version of the card, we actually got a sticker for, well, a white version of a sticker. So normally this would be a black or a dark version of a sticker. So not sure why. Again, this was more like a pre-production, pre-engineering sample, let's say. That we received, or well, that our technical department received to do some testing. There's also a nice metal backplate, and yes, it is metal. But as you can see, there's a huge flow-through design, as it's called. So there is a big part, a chunk of the heatsink, let's say, that is not covered by PCB, and you can quite easily see that from the bottom, where you can see that up to here basically is where the PCB runs, from there to there. And then it's pretty much half the card that's not covered, that doesn't have PCB, so it's purely doing...
Is it half or more than half?
Well, I would say maybe it's even more than half, yeah.
Yeah.
Just slightly more than half. But anyway, so that's, a little bit more than half of the card is just there for cooling duty, let's say. And as we'll see later on, it does a phenomenal job at that. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to cooling and in general, the cooling potential and the solution for this card, it's really excellent. It's really good. You might say it's overkill, but one other thing, actually 2 other things I want to point out on the close-up view. Of course, the ports you probably are interested in. I mean, it's pretty standard by this point, but still. So there's 3 DisplayPort 1.4s, and there is a HDMI 2.0, I believe. Yeah. So those are quite good. And another thing, and this is actually different from the NVIDIA Founders Edition, the power connector. So NVIDIA still, on their Founders Edition, still uses a 16-pin connector. Actually, I was looking if I have one here, but I don't. I don't think so. No, I don't. I don't have one laying around here. But yeah, the 16-pin power connector that you see on the, basically all the cards on a higher tier. But for our 4060 Ti's, we are using, in this case, a single 8-pin power connector. So you don't need the 6-pin for this. Which, I mean, we've seen in a lot of reviews, media also seem to agree that this makes a bit more sense. I mean, it's this connector is probably a little bit cheaper as well, so it saves a bit of cost in the same time. And really the 16-pin power connector, yes, it can deliver a hell of a lot more power, but for these cards, it really doesn't make any sense because they use upwards of I think the NVIDIA limit was 160 watts stock, and I think we push it up a little bit higher. But again, also that we will discuss a little bit later.
So Peter asked a question in the chat from YouTube. Skeet Steer is asking, when are you doing AMD 7600 stream?
Actually, we don't know. We don't have a sample for that.
Not yet.
No. So who knows? I mean, if we do manage to get our hands on a sample,
I'm
then
sure.
we might
I mean, next week we will talk about it because we have Computex live streams, and these are also displayed at the Computex.
Yeah.
So we have some pictures. We can talk about a little bit details, but I don't think we will have the samples in at that moment.
Yeah.
If we ever get the samples.
Yeah. Yeah. Dutch guy was asking, this one can't burn. That's a plus. All cards can burn, but if you're referring to the thing about the 16-pin connector, pretty much most, or if not all, of the issues with burning, with regards to burning, were pretty much traced back to the connector not being fully seated in.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's equally a bad idea to do for an 8-pin connector as a 16-pin connector. But I mean, that was mostly the cause. So it's not really.
And it's
down
quite
to
difficult to get a 16-pin in. So we will have a solution for that probably during our Computex live stream next week.
Yeah.
I can show you that.
Maybe a little bit of lube, WD-40.
No.
No? Oh. Well, anyway, wear protection, guys. Blast Joyce is asking, are you guys doing a performance test as well?
Yes.
Yes, we will. We will be doing that indeed.
That's why the PC is in the background.
Yes, this one. Well, you wouldn't tell it, but this is a PC indeed. It's fully functional.
Maybe we do like this.
Anyway, we'll show that later. Indeed. So that's the gaming card. I think that's pretty much, I mean, at least from the exterior, what I can show you. So now I will show you the Ventus 3X. So this is the Ventus 3X card. I mean, I still really like this design as well. Nice and rounded. Still looks pretty cool with the silver and black. On Ventus cards, there is no RGB, as most of you people will know by now. It's still, I mean, it stays within 2 slots, as you can see, and I'll compare it to the gaming card in a minute. So it's nice and thin that way. It's also quite, you know, not really heavy. I mean, not the gaming card is that heavy, but still, it's compared to like other 40 series cards that we've had here, it's relatively light. It also sports a single 8-pin power connector to start off with that for this one. It has 3 Torx 4.0 fans, so these are the previous generation top-end fans, let's say. Still work really well and are really silent as well. Also here, it's a 3-fan solution, so it's really silent, and it's pretty much, again, overkill for this card. Backplate, this one is plastic. So it won't do anything in terms of cooling or passive cooling. It has a lot of flow through, so it's not a heat trap, let's say. So you know, there's plenty of room for the air to flow through the card, through the heatsink, and out the other way. And the heatsink, if I see this correctly, it does feature. Not sure if you can capture this on the camera. It does feature a little bit of. I think this is also the previous generation. Wave curved finish on the heatsink edges, on the fin edges. Not sure if we can get that on the camera, but a little bit.
Do you have the 2-fan version? We don't have that one on hand.
No, I mean, we have 2-fan versions, both of the gaming and of the Ventus card, and I will show you that later on, but we don't have physical samples on hand of those, unfortunately. But I will go over the specs of those and basically show you those in a minute. Other than that, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward card, right? Ventus is really, that's what Ventus is about. It's straightforward, not really too many bells and whistles. Great performance and good cooling solution as well. Also here, of course, all the I/O are there. So there's a triple DisplayPort and a single HDMI, as is standard pretty much for this generation. And that's pretty much it for this card.
Now we understand what Skeets is talking about. SFF, small form factor. Yes. I did it.
Yeah, I know. Michiel is one of them, so he'll be looking for one of those as well. Here I can actually compare the cards side by side. So the thickness. So here we have the gaming card on this side with the copper color heat pipes.
Which is not the final version.
No, exactly, but it's this one. So it's both a little bit taller, as you can see. Let's see if I can get this in one hand, but This bit sticks out a bit more than on the Ventus, so it's a bit taller that way. But
I
it's
would
also
say higher.
But it's also wider, as you can see. So this is basically 2.5 slots, let's say, and the Ventus is a true 2-slot card. So that's pretty much the difference. In terms of length, the gaming card is also just slightly longer. Let's see if I can get this. So as you can see on the top, the gaming card is slightly longer. And well, you will see later on as well, but the gaming card also has slightly higher power limits. Although, I mean, for within this GPU, it's debatable how much difference that makes, but at least you have a bit more headroom, so that's always nice to have. And the cooling solution is more than capable of handling that, so that's also a very nice plus. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Yeah, basic, yes, that's right. Do you have performance comparisons? Yeah, there's actually performance comparisons coming right up as well. We have some charts. Ventus makes more sense for this GPU. I mean, this is a personal choice, right? There's people who like the more sober look, right? And they basically say, look, I'm just buying it for the GPU and I want decent cooling performance, and the rest really doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter how it looks, doesn't matter if it has lights or not. Yeah, yes, then Ventus is definitely the choice for you. There's also people who just want, a bit more, and they care how it looks because they want it to look nice or a certain way. Yeah. And that's where we have other models as well that have a bit more possibilities in that department. Temp differences. I actually don't have the temp differences between these two cards, but I imagine it wouldn't be too big, actually.
There is a difference.
Yeah, but it will be just a couple of degrees. Yeah. But both of them are excellent in terms of cooling performance.
Yeah, it should not be any problem.
They are both triple fan designs with quite a lengthy heatsink, so you can imagine that's more than enough for this level of performance.
For these Peter, go ahead.
Gaming Trio is using the Frozr cooling tech. If you mean zero Frozr, like the fans stop, then yes, and not just the gaming card. I do believe that the Ventus card also uses that. It's pretty standard on most cards these days. That indeed, if the card is idling, let's say, that the fans will, if left in their stock configuration, that they will stop spinning indeed until the GPU reaches a certain temperature, and only then they'll start spinning up.
If we talk about the product stack, because
what I'll do is I'll actually, because I have a bit of slides for that to show the other models as well. I'll connect the GPU. And
is that how you connect the GPU? Like,
yes, just wiggling it.
Good example
into place.
for everybody.
Sorry?
Good example.
Well, I mean,
next
I
time
did it gently.
I'm sure Ruud is watching, and next time he will. Eric, you take this GPU. You can handle it.
Yeah. I'm not so sure. I mean, the thing is, yeah, you can, but it's. I mean, this is on a test bench. It doesn't really matter that much. You don't have the guiding principle of fixing this thing to your case, let's say. So it's kind of dangling.
Is that a reason or an excuse?
It's kind of dangling there anyway. I hope you guys made the PCIe slots on the motherboard strong enough, which I'm pretty sure you did. What's it called these days?
Mr. Masterdag is saying Peter wants to break stuff, so you make me feel better.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad about it.
No, he's proud of it. It's part of his reputation.
No.
He likes it.
Well, the problem is I didn't do anything on purpose. I mean, you know what was on purpose?
I'm not sure if that's better or worse, actually.
Okay, let's skip to the PPT. Shall we go to the PowerPoint?
Yeah. Whoa, it's booting. Calm down.
Shit.
Let's see. I wiggled them into best airflow I've ever seen. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? I mean, this thing has got really good airflow. A little bit of context, by the way. Let's see. I believe there's a.
Now the fans stop.
Sorry?
Now the fans stop.
Yeah.
So that's zero Frozr.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's in desktop idle mode probably. Can I switch to the capture?
1 second. Because I'll quickly.
Why? You have some stuff we are not allowed to see.
No, I just want to load something up because it's like
you also need to change the audio.
Yeah, I probably do. Give me a second here. Do I? Yes, I do.
You rebooted.
I can actually do that here now. Okay. Yes. Here we go. Okay, so a little bit of a cheat sheet as well, because I don't have it memorized what is in this system specifically, but let me also clarify that a little bit. So we are running a Core i5 13600K. It's completely stock, so we didn't overclock anything about it. The motherboard is an MAG B760 Tomahawk Wi-Fi that we are using. We have, I do believe, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. Kingston, HyperX, Fury. No, that's not HyperX.
You have a mobile cam, not?
Fury. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, we can actually. Oh, wait. I need to wait. That's another thing I need to execute through the PC.
So many things.
Yeah, always. But give me a second, and we'll get it up and running. I need to tell my phone it's okay. Yes, allow. Can we see it? Allow.
It's like a whole operation getting everything
come
working.
On. Nope, I need to do it again. Yeah, this is a script that should capture my my phone. And then
So Nav TV on Twitch is saying 4060 Ti might be a good streaming card when Twitch hits AV1. Well, that depends. Are you going to do gameplay on the GPU and at the same time stream? Well, it might still be possible. That needs to be checked.
For competitive games, let's say, yes, it should still be fine. If you're really going into the AAA games, let's say, the really demanding games, yeah, you probably want something a bit more beefy.
Dedicated capture PC or card.
Oh, dedicated in the streaming PC.
Well,
then yes, yeah, definitely. If you're just doing it for the AV1, then yes.
We want to play with it. We stream everything via Restream, and they are still not supporting it. So at this moment we're using Streamlabs.
OBS.
It used to be it used to be called OBS. Now it's just Streamlabs.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And as far as I know, I believe this only supports streaming to one channel. And if you look at OBS, you can have multiple streams at the same time. For example, one encoded on the GPU, one on the CPU.
Yeah.
So we should make several changes, but we want to play around with AV1 streaming to YouTube to see how that works. But yeah, we need to find time. We need to make some changes over here, and then also the template from Streamlabs. Streaming software needs to be converted to OBS.
Exactly. All right. Anyway, so B760 Tomahawk Wi-Fi motherboard, i5 13600K, non-modified, just standard running on stock settings. We have 32 gigs, so 2 times 16 gigs of Kingston Fury Beast RGB DDR5 modules. We have, of course, the beastly graphics card. I'll get it from this angle as well. I'm not sure if it's... Yeah, you can kind of see the RGB now working as well. Obviously, it's quite light. There's a lot of lights on this, so it's difficult to see. But yeah, that. And the cooler, this I believe is the, what is it, S360?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
MEG, core liquid.
I'm not sure, I'm just saying yes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, it's 360, right? Because it has 3 fans. 3 times 120 is 360, I would imagine. Maybe it's wider. I'm not sure. Anyway, and of course it has a really nice display, as you can see. So it will cycle through certain values. In this case, the radiator fan, CPU temperature, as you can see, 31. It's nice and leisurely, and so it will provide you. Pump fan, of course, is going at quite a consistent speed. You can configure this. I mean, I believe we have this in multiple live streams if you are interested about this. But I mean, this is a liquid cooler that basically can handle pretty much anything, especially with a radiator like this. That's pretty big.
So Camilio Lopez on YouTube is asking, do you recommend this graphics card for development of video games in Unity? To be honest, I don't know the requirements of Unity. If this is GPU based or CPU based, and what kind of for what is needed, for example, for rendering the preview or for other things in the workflow. So I cannot answer that. I will Google a little bit, because there are some websites.
Also, it depends on what kind, because making what kind of work you're doing. If you're doing the graphics work, you probably want a bit more of a beefier card. If you are doing the pure coding, let's say, of behavior and stuff like that, yeah, probably it's fine. But then again, pretty much anything would be fine, right? So, yeah, I guess you're talking about also the graphics part of it, and I don't know, map making, texture making, 3D modeling. That you probably want a more beefy GPU for that, I would imagine. And that's based on. I mean, we had one guy. How long is it? A couple of months ago, somewhere.
No, longer ago.
It was last year. We had some guy here who was actually creating assets for games and doing map design and stuff like that. He showed us some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, he also, he was talking about he had at that point, I think the 40 series were not out yet, I believe. Or maybe just out, but he was really looking at top of the line card, so either a 3090 at least, 3090 Ti if it's last gen, and this gen it would be a 4090, because for the rendering specifically as well, 3D rendering, model rendering and stuff like that, it takes a lot of power to do that.
Is that plushie new? I never seen one with that tail.
This one.
It's fake.
This one is actually not real, unfortunately. I cannot. We have one. I'm looking at one there. Oh God. Exactly. So this one is real, and it has a tail. I mean, Lucky does have a tail. That's right. So yeah, this one actually used to sit here when we didn't have a co-host there. So kind of like this.
Yeah, just block me.
Anyway,
that's okay. It's okay.
No. Anyway, but yeah. Right, so that pretty much covers the build we are using today. Let me.
That was a strange red color.
Yeah,
can you show it on camera again?
Sorry?
Can you show it on camera again?
What, this?
Yeah. And wow, oh, the colors are really flat on the screen.
Yeah, not sure. I mean, in real life, it looks a bit better.
It's like Diet Coke red.
But to be fair, also, it's been in the studio for a couple of years, actually.
Yeah, no.
So
I mean, in real life, it looks better.
It does, but it might look a little bit faded. And also, the fabric is kind of, it's like.
Should I turn some dials on the camera?
No, it's fine. I mean, there's a reason why we don't show them here, and the one in the background looks a bit more bright red.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Slides. Yes, and we can switch to the capture if it is working.
It is.
Check. There we go. Yes. Well, we talked about it before as well. It's not just this card or these cards that were introduced. So it's not just the 4060 Ti 8 gig. NVIDIA actually introduced 3 different GPUs. So there's the 4060 Ti 8 gigs, which is launching and available today. There is the 16 gig version coming in July. And there is also the RTX 4060, so the non-TI version, also coming in July, as you can see. And they did communicate some MSRPs. I mean, this is always a bit tricky. Usually, I mean, we also have MSRP models available. Usually it will be, for example, the Ventus models that are MSRP from our side.
Well, the interesting part, Peter, in the last 2 years, there was a huge shortage on GPUs.
Yes.
And whenever somebody heard MSRP, it was not only very expensive, but we know in reality that it would probably be double on eBay or something.
Scalpers or
indeed. Yeah. Now I see already a lot of cards which launched in the last half year are on the market.
Actually near MSRP. Well, the
MSRP below MSRP as well.
Sometimes, but it doesn't happen much, I would say. At least not. I mean, not with cards launching or at launch or directly after.
First, there is always a limited supply. Yes. The first wave buyers are buying up the cards, and then supply will ramp up, so there will be more volume in the market, which also means that some resellers will do some competitions. There will be some actions to push out stocks in the warehouses.
Some sales events. I mean, traditionally things like Black Friday, you name it. You know the sales events.
But today, this sounds positive because this is just the MSRP price, like it should be, and in reality, you need to check in the stores.
Well, not just that. You have the thing is as well, right? There are different models, and as we explained earlier, you have Ventus, which is very basic. So that also means that there's less cost involved to create this card. There's no RGB, for example. There's a bit less materials going into it, bit less development compared to gaming. So that also means that it allows us to still, sell it at or near MSRP without, selling it for a loss or just breaking even, but not making any profit whatsoever. Obviously, we're a company; we also need to make some profit. But for the gaming card, those are priced a bit higher because these are more powerful. They are a bit bigger. There's a bit more R&D that goes into it. Literally a bit more materials. So those will be priced a bit higher. Yeah. And then it's up to you guys, of course, to think which one do you think it's worth. Which one do you want the most, and do you think it's worth the extra money? That's all up to you guys, obviously.
So one of the things, Peter, what I just wanted to mention, I saw some news online that NVIDIA had a massive demand for AI, for GPUs to do all the AI calculation, this sounds the same like crypto.
But I mean, there's like an AI boom, I guess you could say, especially when it comes to consumer things like ChatGPT. But there's also all these drawing programs, right? You make a description, and the program kind of draws whatever makes the visual for you on your description. That takes a lot of computational power,
No, so this means that it might be possible that also consumer GPUs will go into shortage in the coming half year or coming year.
It's possible,
or the prices will go higher again.
Because a lot of the materials, like the actual, not
silicon.
the GPU itself, but the silicon, the memory, the PCB, the metal to make, the cooling solutions and everything like that, like basic materials. Those
chokes,
will be,
you name it.
There's a big draw on that again. So, I mean, we'll see.
Which one has Peter, you do your next slide, then we see the product stack probably?
Yeah, well actually, I mean, this is the product stack. First starting with the GPUs, of course. Again, like I said, I was going to try to put things into perspective a little bit. On the far right, you see this is the new card. The GPU is based on the AD106 die, so that's one step down, if you will, from the 4070 that we launched a couple of months ago now, 2 months ago, 3 months. Anyway, it's also based on the 4nm process. It has quite a bit fewer CUDA cores, of course, which again, it's scaled to the level of performance. The boost clock is 25, 35 megahertz. This is from NVIDIA, like the base level, let's say. So our cards will have slightly different clock speeds, which I'll show a little bit later on, and also I'll show where you can find them. And then I think the thing that a lot of people are talking about, or most people are talking about, the amount of VRAM. So it has 8 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM memory. And it's running at 18 gigabit per second. And also another thing that was talked about a lot is the 128-bit bus. It's always debatable. Yes, there will be scenarios where you will run out of VRAM, even on a 1080p, because a lot of games, especially recently, a lot of these games that were pretty much programmed for PlayStation 5, which has a 16 gig memory VRAM buffer, or Xbox, which has a 10 gig indeed. Yeah, if it's programmed for that, and they don't adjust it for PC, so then they don't downscale it, let's say, or optimize it for PC. Yeah, you're going to run into limits. But you'll see that it's pretty much the games that have been ported over from a console to PC. That's where it happens. So, it's, for example, Jedi Survivor, The Last of Us. What was the other one? Hogwarts Legacy. So. Yeah, these are games that are basically ported, and unfortunately, they are quite big titles, right? So a lot of people will run into this issue, and if that is...
And most of the times with those ported games, I mean, they put some efforts in it to give it some PC exclusive features or optimizations. Yeah. But when it hits the market, everybody will complain about it, and then they realize, damn, we need to do a better job. And after a few months, there's a patch, and then you think, pretty decent game.
Sometimes there's a patch indeed, and there's always settings you can change, but it is a bit of a strange, I guess maybe a turning point that we're at. I mean, the thing is, this is something that has popped up relatively recently, let's say. Those game titles came out in the past couple of months. Cards like this, at NVIDIA, for example, or AMD, which also launched a card recently, these are in development for a long time, long before these games came out. And sure, you can probably dynamically scale the memory. That's probably one of the reasons why NVIDIA also said, okay, we'll also make a 16 gig version available. If that makes sense at this level of price and performance, well, that's up to you guys to decide, of course. I guess it depends on your scenario and what you expect the card to do, and you know, which games you want to run on it.
I would say 8 gig is not really a problem if you are willing to compromise. This means...
Yeah, but that's always... I mean, I've seen so many articles, because I've also, of course, tried to read into it and see what is the conclusion and see if I can form my own opinion about it. Personally, I don't think it's a big issue, but I mean, that's just who I am. Because for me, it's more like, well, if you go looking for the limits, there's pretty much always a way to find them, right? So there's for every product, even on a 4090, you can find, you know, mods or programs that will flood the VRAM for that as well. So it is possible. Does that make it so that the memory on that card is insufficient? I don't know. In that case, maybe.
So, like David James on YouTube says, 128 memory bit sucks. Bus sucks. I mean, if that's the case, then 4070 is the one for you. Yeah,
probably. But also 128-bit. However, to provide a bit of context, what NVIDIA did do, and I didn't include this in this overview, but what NVIDIA did do is they increased the cache, so the L2 cache, let's say, size quite dramatically from last generation. So that does mean, and they did that to try and mitigate the the issues, the potential issues that could come up with the memory bus. Because having a bigger L2 cache should mean, and does mean in practice, that the VRAM usage should be slightly less intensive. Meaning you should be less likely to hit the limits of that 128-bit bus. Or even the 8 gig of memory limit. Again, there are definitely, there will definitely be cases where you run into those limits, especially if you go look for them.
And in the future with newer games.
But here's the thing, right? For me, it's really simple, because if almost everybody agrees that 8 gig is too little, well, then it's simple, right? You simply don't buy this card and you wait for the 16 gig model if you want a 4060 Ti. Or
and then the message to NVIDIA will also be clear.
Yeah,
because they will not sell anything.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just, you know, it's kind of like the market at work as well, in a way.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen, right? Because there's a lot of noise about it, but in the end, if the 8 gig model of this card just sells very well to NVIDIA, the message that they receive will be very simply, all right, it's good. Right, it's fine for this level, apparently. So it really depends. And again, you know, as in tech media and everybody, of course, they need to try and form an opinion both for themselves, but also for their audience, which is weird because their audience is very varied. So you can't really have one conclusion for everybody, right? So in the end, it comes down to you and your specific situation. You need to make that decision for you. Is it enough or not? And only you can answer that question for you.
Yeah.
I can't answer that question for you. And no other media, I don't want to call us media, but no media reviewer can do that either for you, unless they know your specific situation. Yeah. Then they could potentially do that.
So JK said, what's the point of this card when it performs the same as 3060 Ti? Well, you have some newer features, you have some lower power consumption, but if you have the 3060 Ti, no reason to upgrade.
Well, there's a couple of things that this card has that the 3060 Ti doesn't, which is, for example, AV1 support.
Yeah.
That's one example. Support for DLSS 3, so the frame generation. Yeah. And I mean, you know, if those features, if you don't plan to use them, and if that really doesn't appeal to you, then yeah, there's no point for you to upgrade to this card. If you have a 3060 Ti, then yeah, no, indeed, there's no point. No. But if you do value those features and you want to use them, and you think that, you know, the game that you play, for example, or you want to play, has DLSS 3 or supports it, and you think that will help, well, then it might be worth considering. But again, you know, it's a personal choice.
Are we going to do giveaway, Peter?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Oh,
last thing I want to highlight before you go do that, or while you look into it, is the power draw. So as you can see, this is the lowest power draw card, well, spec'd at least, from NVIDIA in the current lineup, unsurprisingly. So stock, it's limited to 160 watts, but as we'll see later on, it's, you know, especially our gaming card has a little bit of a higher power target, at least that it can reach. But yeah. So yeah, we have a giveaway, of course, as you can see there over Eric's head. We have the Steam wallet codes. Yep, you can, if you want to participate, you can go to either msi.com/2/insider, as it says there. There should be a button that says go to giveaway. Or alternatively, you can watch our live stream, or at least watch the chat on either our YouTube or Twitch channels. We are streaming on multiple different platforms. Because in those two chats, YouTube and Twitch, every 5 minutes we have a chat bot configured that should be sending you the link.
Spamming you.
Well, I don't want to use the word spam. I don't like the word spam, but yeah, it posts the link every 5 minutes for the Gleam giveaway. So if you head over there, you register, perform a couple of actions. The more actions you perform, the more points you get. If you are a regular viewer as well, you can get, or you can actually use loyalty bonus points.
Like the winner for today, or
Exactly,
for now,
first
which
winner
is
for today.
Y Red Panda.
Hey, congratulations. And then you can win, like Y Red Panda, a Steam wallet code, which will be sent out to you as soon as possible after the live stream.
Your pronunciation sounded much more English, like panda instead
Y
of
Red
panda.
Panda, yeah. Well, I try. Right?
Okay, good. Cool.
Anyway, TDP 160 watts, very good. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously when you get to the mid-range, entry mid-range for a architecture, let's say, you would kind of hope that it's really efficient. That's what it should be.
This is another mislabeled NVIDIA card. It should be 4050 and for less money. Well, you know, it's just a name.
Yeah.
I think in the end you need to look at the performance and the price and the FPS per US dollar you're getting. And then when all the 40 series at one moment are launched, you have a product stack, and this will stack up nice.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's up to you, because you're basically saying either the naming is wrong or the pricing is wrong.
No, he says and.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, but I think he means one or the other. You know, either it should be a 4050 or okay, maybe even more. But
he means both.
So the issue really is pricing, I guess. And yeah, I mean, yes, NVIDIA did raise the bar for pretty much all the series. So like a typical 70 series did cost less a couple of generations ago. And
we were talking this morning about it.
That's true for every level, let's
1070 was like a golden card.
Oh yeah. I had one as well, and it was really good. You could actually play pretty decently 4040p back in the day with the 1070. So.
Battlefield.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest, the 10 series was a really good generation in and of itself. But then after that, you know, ray tracing got added, and at the beginning it was a bit of like, don't know what to think of it, and you know, there wasn't that much support. Now it's way more common and way more supported already. So it's just, again, you know, it takes time for these things to develop, and now we're at a point where it's actually quite viable.
David James means both.
Yeah, both. Yeah, well,
mislabeled and mispriced.
But again, you know, the thing is, then you know, you make the decision for you.
Yeah, then don't buy it.
You know, there's you know, you can disagree with it, but there's not a whole lot of point, because it's not like, you know, NVIDIA is going to say, oh, I'm sorry, let's rename the product because this guy didn't like it. I mean, the name is what it is, and it's up to you whether you want to buy the card or not. That's Anyway, all right, so that was the comparison for these cards. Then I promised you guys some benchmarks. Here they are. This card is really aimed at 1080p, which for me actually was quite surprising, because I expected it to, you know, especially with maybe DLSS 3 to especially become a bit more viable also at 4040p. It still is in games that support DLSS 3, but in pure rasterized performance, yeah, this is 1080p extraordinaire. So as you can see here, it's well over 100 FPS on average, and this is from the TechSpot review, obviously, so 15 game average. This is ray tracing and DLSS off, so it's purely rasterized performance, like for like. And as you can see also there, I mean, we didn't include everything up to 4090 because it's really like in the middle, in the mix with all these cards. It's pretty much, to all intents and purposes, on par with the 3070 of previous generation. In pure rasterized performance. But like we said, there are a couple of things that this card has that for example, the 3070 doesn't have, which is AV1 support and DLSS 3 frame generation support. So yeah. And maybe going forward, I mean, NVIDIA is known to keep adding stuff and developing features. So in the future, this difference probably will only get bigger.
So
with
maybe
generation.
Grander is saying, stop like customers. Grander, maybe you can and go call police?
I'm not sure. I mean, the thing is,
can you maybe explain? Let us know, please.
I'm not sure if there's any lies here. We're just calling specs, and you know these are facts. So the specs are the specs, and there's not a whole lot that that you can lie about it. And
I also suspect you from lying, Peter. I'll pay an eye. Or I will pay an eye, I will keep an eye out.
Yeah, of course. No, the thing is, you know, we try to be at least, you know, honest about these things and give some reliable advice. And we're not really giving our opinion as in a value opinion or something, because obviously we work for MSI, so it wouldn't be fair for us to kind of say, yeah, we recommend this card, it's the best card, yeah.
No.
So we kind of try to stay away from that, but we do want to kind of just at least show you guys what this card has, what it can do, why you should either choose to buy it, perhaps, or consider at least, or not. And the rest is really up to you. So, all right, 1080p, really good. As you can see, again, around the performance of 3070 without any DLSS or ray tracing, but just pure rasterized performance. 4040p, not bad. It is coming closer, a bit more dangerously close to the 60 FPS point, so that means also in some games, most notably the AAA titles, it probably will struggle to stay above 60 FPS consistently. So you might have to, you know, tune back a couple of settings to get there.
This is where I expect the 4060 Ti 16 gig to shine. I mean, I believe in 4040p, probably it's bottlenecked a lot by the memory.
It really depends. It's just in a couple of titles. But yes, that can drag the average down quite a lot. And that is really the issue for this GPU. If you run into that bottleneck, you get stuttering, you get massive performance issues. So as long as you manage to kind of avoid that trap, let's say, or those situations, then it's fine. Will the 16 gig version use 16 PCIe or not? I don't know, Narf. If I knew, I would tell you, but at the moment I don't know.
So to be clear, this one, the 8 gig version, is PCI Express.
It's PCI Express version 4.
Maybe you can show that, Peter?
I'm not sure if you can actually see that.
Yeah, you can see the traces.
I'm trying to look for a way. Yeah, but I'm looking. We need to have. Wait, maybe it's better to do it with this. Maybe it might be easier with this thing.
Oh, panic. Mobile cam, close-up cam. Oh, there's a mobile cam.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, then it's my bad. Let me see. I need to full screen this thing. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna see if I can try and show you guys this. So what you see here, let's see if I get the light right. You can see the diagonal lines basically running from the top of the PCB down to these fingers, let's say these golden fingers, which is the PCIe connector. And then on this side,
some more light.
A bit. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can, here we go. Here, these traces, the lines are not connecting, so there are no lines coming down from the PCB.
No PCB traces.
Exactly, connecting to these fingers, which means these are not connected. They're really just basically not doing anything. But these are connected. So
this is physically a PCI Express 16 card?
Times 16, that's what it's called, indeed, technically.
But electronically, it's only connected by 8.
Yeah, times 8, indeed. So it's basically using half the connectors. Now, I saw indeed there was a video from Roman, their Bauer, let's say. He did a test, because he noticed this as well. And he did a test to see if this was actually limiting performance. And the short version was, in his conclusion, no, it did not. It didn't limit
like
performance
5%, but like small percentage.
No, actually, no, because 5% was, he actually taped over even half of these.
Sorry, yeah, you're right, sorry.
So with times 4, so that's even half of what it has normally, it would be about 5% performance hit.
Yeah.
So, but with 8%, with 8 lanes available, there was no performance hit at all.
Yeah.
Basically, that's like 100% performance, so it wasn't bottlenecking it in any way. Yeah. So, but yeah, will the 16 gig version use times 16? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see until that one is unveiled or unleashed.
So,
whatever you call it.
Grander is saying, so tell me why the 4000 series is worth more than the 3000 you call the upgrade. Well, it's not maybe not worth. I mean, that's for you to decide.
That's the thing, right? That's we're not saying that it is worth it or that it is an upgrade. Other than, for example, yes, it does have some features that the 3000 series does not have, like AV1 support, like DLSS 3. That's not a lie.
With
That's
frame rate
that's
generation.
a fact, right?
Yeah.
So at the moment, at least. So that's something that it's up to you to decide.
It's your money.
If you think
You
that's
need to
worth
decide
it or
where
not,
to spend
right?
it.
So it's not. We are not saying, oh, it's worth that, and you should buy it. You should spend your money on it. No. That's your decision if you want to do it or not. So really, yeah. Please don't put words in our mouth. We're actually trying to be careful to not do that because I also watch streams, and before I worked at MSI as well.
We joke a lot, right? I mean, disclaimer: RGB is not really making your GPU fast.
Yeah, exactly. So some of the stuff we say, indeed, we hope you guys understand that, but indeed. But yeah, we try to be careful about what we say, and if you do think that some of the things we are saying are not okay, hey, please let us know. I mean,
well, he did.
It's always criticism is always welcome, and we do want to take that seriously.
I'm going to put something in my eye.
That's to be fair. That's for his lenses, right? So Eric is not trying to act like he's becoming emotional right now. But yeah.
Why is this? Why is he
always out to
why
get
is he
you?
attacking us?
We're always out to get
Oh, more tears.
Yeah. Jesus. Right. So the Oscar goes to definitely not Eric. Sorry, guys.
My feelings.
All right. Anyway. Yeah, so go back to the capture, please.
Yes.
Because we were talking about performance. Yeah, so 4040p, I mean, again, you're going really into the territory of some games, actually most games, probably it's still okay. But the heavier games, especially the ports that we mentioned, yeah, you're probably going to run into maybe VRAM issues or performance issues where you drop below 60 FPS sometimes, and that's something we don't recommend. So yeah, we can see why NVIDIA also pushes this card or promotes this card as a 1080p card. And then just for context and for the heck of it, 4K. Obviously,
don't do it.
Well, you can see here, it's not a 4K card, which, I mean, if it wasn't obvious already, yeah, there you go. And really at 4K, that's really where the 8 gigs limitation will probably, set in most titles. Because, yeah, you got way bigger textures and a lot more screen space to fill. So, yeah, it's not a 4K card. But, I mean, that was probably obvious from the outset.
Well, it's quite interesting. Can you go one slide back to the 4040p?
Yes,
I mean, at the bottom it says DLSS is off.
Yes,
so
it is.
You could get in certain games, which of course optimize for it, you could get with frame rate generation, you could get a decent boost.
Oh, you could get way above 100 probably in some
depending
games.
on the game.
But it's up to you if you know if you like DLSS. I mean, this is even with, you have 2 layers of DLSS, right? So you have the regular DLSS, let's say, the quality mode and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that would already boost your performance a bit.
Yeah.
And then you could choose. I think in pretty much all games it offers you the choice if you want to even use the frame generation, yes or no.
Yeah.
So, it's a multi-layered thing that you can even choose from. And that's not included in this chart, indeed, in these numbers. So
no, this is
that's
just
something
resolution performance.
that could come on top of that. So that's why I'm saying the games that do support DLSS, not all games support it, so we have to be clear about that. But the games that do support it, you can probably easily get around 100 or if not more FPS out of this card. At 4040p, so it could still be fine. But again, it's really up to you, and it's situationally 4K. Yeah, also there, still, it's if you would apply all the tricks, the DLSS and the frame generation, you could probably get over 60, way over 60 FPS in some games, and probably pretty consistently. Still, probably you will run into, even with DLSS and
well, the
frame
minimum
generation,
FPS would not be enough to enjoy the game. You are more likely to
run into the limit. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Then quickly, I want to show you guys our cards. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, there are actually 4. So we have 2 here, which we showed you already. The gaming card, which we actually have on the test bench here. So this is the Gaming X Trio with 3 fans. We have our twin Frozr card. So I'm not sure if this is the first one actually. I'm wondering that. I wanted to say
for
that.
40 series, this is the first time we have a twin Frozr.
Yeah. So the twin Frozr, the legendary twin Frozr returns. And I think for this card, it's more than enough to have 2 fans as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, dual fan card. They're available for you guys.
Do you know? Sorry, can you go? Do you know if this cooler is the same length of the PCB, or would it be a bit?
No, I think it would be a bit,
longer?
a little bit longer still.
Yeah,
I would imagine. Yeah, we can actually check that out because I can pull up the website in a bit, and there you can, if you see the rear of the card with the backplate, you can probably see if it has a bit flow-through design still, because, and that's only possible if there's no PCB there. So that would be a good indication. Ventus 3X, which we also have here. So of course the triple Ventus card, triple fan Ventus card, and a dual fan, so the Ventus 2X. And this is not a regular Ventus 2X card. This is the Ventus 2X Black. And yeah, we thought it would be nice to also have a full black edition.
Yeah, a lot of people asking for that. So
we got a lot of questions about that. Like, hey, can you do a full black edition? Just, you know, understated. Also, we have, you know, to maybe go, for example, with some of our motherboards, which are more, was it the Unify, right? Eric, you would know that.
Yeah.
So we have other components as well that are more, you know, like the understated side of things. No
edition.
RGB, no, you know, not too many bells and whistles, just really good solid hardware and toned down looks. Yeah. So that's really what, you know, this is the first one. Maybe there'll be more. Maybe there'll be other models as well available in full black at some point. We don't know.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting to see in this segment you don't have the Supreme anymore because it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it would again. I think we said the same on the 4070 live stream where indeed we always need to check, does it make sense for that level to have the added cost of materials, design, R&D, and for Supreme, those costs are even higher than gaming. So then you would probably, for the price of a theoretical 4060 Ti Supreme card, you could probably buy a 4070 Ventus, maybe even gaming, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, at the high end, the price gaps are much bigger. You have much more room to play with your assortment than in the, I don't want to call this entry level.
Well,
I'm just going to say mid-range.
I mean, it's more mid-range. At the moment, this is the entry level because this is
now,
the lowest one. But
you know, I'm not going to say it is like that, but I assume here you see the first 2 fan cards coming in.
Yeah.
I can only speculate because I don't know. But maybe for the 4060 8 gig, we don't even have 3 fan cards. I don't know, but you know, at one moment maybe 4050, 4040. Well, that one we never had. But something like that, you know, at one moment the 3 fan card don't make any sense anymore. And you only get stuck with the 2 fan cards.
Yeah, that's a baby GPU. Yeah.
And then then one fan we call ITX.
Yes. Yeah. So I can, let's see, because I can actually pull up the stats for that. Wait. Oh, this is actually from last live stream. Haha.
Oh, Afterburner.
Yeah, it was Afterburner as well. So if you want to know all the specs of the cards, you go to MSI.com and then you go to products, graphics cards, NVIDIA GPUs in this case, because we're going to check the cards that are here, the 4060 Ti. You select that GPU on the left-hand side. There you get all these GPUs, and what you can do there is I will just select the all the OC versions, so the Gaming X, for example, and the Ventus OC versions, and you could compare them. I think 4 is the max that you can compare, which is perfect in this case. And then basically this lets you compare them side by side in terms of specs. So here you go. You can see the clock speeds, for example. So one of the questions that was asked was what was our highest clock speed card? It is the Gaming X Trio with 2658 megahertz. Sorry, 2685, not 58. Yeah, so that's the one, and you can get that through MSI Center. The regular boost is 2670, so it's quite close. Other cards, so Ventus cards are usually clocked slightly lower, as you can see, so it's 2580 and 2655 for the Gaming X, which is the other gaming card, the twin Frozr. Other than that, CUDA cores obviously the same, memory is the same. If it's highlighted in red, it basically means there's a difference between the
or
the
there's
models.
a typo.
Or there's a typo. Sometimes it's
Yeah, it
indeed
happens.
a mistake in the in the input. In this case, doesn't look too bad.
But this doesn't show you the differences in the cooler. It's more the specs of the card.
Not yet, indeed. So here you do see the power consumption, although this is the standard NVIDIA default value, let's say. It does show you, for example, if you want to know what kind of power connector there is. So here you can see it's 8 pin times 1. I'm not sure if this is clear. Maybe I can make this a little bit bigger. Also recommended PSU power supply. This is also pretty much standard, the NVIDIA spec. And here you can see this is the card dimension. So this does tell you a little bit about the cooler and basically the card dimension. So here you can see that the Gaming X Trio is 338 millimeters long. So it's the longest card out of this bunch,
And
at
a
least.
triple slot.
And it's 2.5 slots actually.
That's triple.
So no, it's not. Well, it does take up 3 slots in that regard. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you go for whole slots. But yeah, this is 2.5. And this is 2 slots, 43, 42 millimeters. So this is slightly less than 2 slots.
So if I
42.
see this, I wonder if it's really 42 or 43, the second one.
I believe it's 42 officially. It's somewhere in between because there's. I looked it up at some point because I had to calculate it as well, and I think it's like 20.32 or something off the top of my head. That is the official size, so it's quite close to it anyway. And then the weight as well. So there's 2 weights here. The left side weight is always like the card itself, and then the right side weight is the card plus box. So it's like
And all
for
the
shipping,
accessories.
let's say. That's yeah. But as you can see, also there, the gaming card is just slightly more than 1 kilogram, and all the other cards are quite a bit below that. So yeah, relatively light compared to the other 40 series.
In the chat on Twitch, Narv TV, I would even buy GPUs without cooler at all, just to custom water cool them and save a buck. Well, it's
Save
quite
a buck
interesting.
with custom water cooling. That's
No,
the
but
new
I mean,
concept.
that's quite interesting because I understand what you're saying. We proposed this probably 3 years ago or something, and this is not possible because there
yeah,
are some
I
export
remember.
rules
Yes.
for which the cooler needs to be on the PCB, otherwise it couldn't be exported from
Yeah.
China factory or something. You
Yeah.
remember more details, Peter?
It's indeed some kind of export ruling. I'm not sure if this is a China ruling, but it
why
has
and
to
how?
do with products need to be
Consumer
shipped
products or
in a
something.
certain state, let's
Yeah.
say. So they are like operational, let's say. So actually, it's especially if you're planning to sell them, let's say. So if you're planning to sell them in stores, for example, they have to have, in the case of graphics cards, they have to have a functional cooler on them, or at least some means of it. So, for example, if you have, we also sold a couple of generations ago cards with a EK water block mounted on it. That's okay. It will still have to be connected, of course, to a custom water loop or something like that. But at least there's a cooler on it. So there are certain rules there. But hey, if that's your thing, what you can always do is buy one of these cards and just take the cooler off. There are people that do that, of
Yeah,
course.
but well, it would be to save cost on the cooler which is on there,
Yeah,
which is also quite a lot of money.
yeah. Right. Couple of things then, of course. Also today the reviews launched for the, or were released rather, for the aftermarket, so the third-party cards, which of course our gaming model is also one of the Gaming X Trio. So on Tech Power Up, they had basically the most models that they compared it. Here are some comparison metrics. So this is a cooler performance where they put the GPU, they measure the GPU temperature, while they put the fan speed to match a certain sound level. So basically they will up the fans until it hits 35 decibels, and they will let the card run at 160 watt power usage, and then they will compare the temperature to each other. So really this shows you in a, let's say, well, as much as possible like for like scenario, how good the cooler is. And here you can see, at least compared to, the Founders Edition as well, but also some of the other competitor models, that our Gaming X Trio model is ridiculously efficient in terms of temperature and cooling performance. So It's more than 10 degrees difference compared to the Founders Edition, which is the next best thing in this test at least. So that is, yeah. You don't rarely see cards at this temperature under load, because typically 51 degrees, the fans are pretty much not even spinning with zero frother out of the factory, let's say. Another metric here as well, so a bit more detailed, but noise and temperature and noise comparisons. Here you can also see the GPU temperature. Yeah, and this I believe is on a factory setting, so this isn't normalized for anything. This is just out of the box how it performs while doing their gaming testing. So you can also see there the GPU is the lowest temperature by far, and the next one up is the Founders Edition. Also the hotspot is a full 10 degrees lower, so I mean that's quite a lot. Noise is also by a huge margin, yeah, a lot less. So it's both cooler and it's more quiet than all these cards here. And also the fan speed, so even the fans, they're spinning at far lower speeds than than the other cards that were tested.
Yeah, so Peter, maybe, you know, I'm not really doing marketing for MSI if I say this is total overkill. You don't need it.
Pretty much, yeah.
But and then I would say you would already. I mean, it's two fan would already be good enough.
Yes.
However, then I see other brands.
Yeah. Also come up with 3 fan cards.
2 fan, and
the thing is, what we do.
The PNY is a triple fan, or
yeah, the XLR is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But it shows that it's, I mean, this cooler is exceptional.
It is, yeah. But
and then, I mean, I'm not saying that our 2 fan, I mean, we should let the media test it and then decide, but I'm not saying the 2 fan would be better than the other fans in there, right? We don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have the data, so without the data I wouldn't be able to tell you. But yeah, it's probably going to be pretty damn good as well, obviously, because it will have less heatsink and one less fan. So it will be a bit closer probably to the Founders Edition, I would expect, in terms of performance, but it probably would still beat it, I would expect. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this just goes to show you that the cooler design on this card is indeed, well, it's like Eric said, it's pretty much overkill.
Yeah, in my opinion it is.
But then again, it is. That means that you can do pretty much anything with this card, and you're unlikely to ever hear it. You know, while trying to keep everything cool.
No.
Yeah, and I wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead. What I want to say, but that's of course.
I see Master Docs saying, or the one of the other coolers is bad. Probably uses no. I guess you mean no vapor chamber. Yeah. The thing is, if I remember correctly, only on the 4090, maybe 4080, 1 or 2 models, the Supreme. Yeah, I think 4080 Supreme also uses a vapor chamber. But everything pretty much under a 4090 doesn't use a vapor chamber for us either. So our Gaming X Trio in this card also does not use a vapor chamber.
No
this is a GPU base plate, you know, a copper nickel plated base plate. So there's no vapor chamber in here. Actually, it doesn't need it. Vapor chamber really only works. I had a discussion with this with our some of our thermal engineers, and they also said, you know, you can't just throw a vapor chamber on everything and expect it to, you know, to work really well. A vapor chamber really only makes sense in certain scenarios. So yeah, apparently it also wouldn't make sense, or probably wouldn't even function correctly. So it would probably perform worse on a GPU such as the 4060 Ti.
Vapor chamber, Peter, we're going to do a giveaway.
Yeah. So while Eric does that, this is pretty much the last slide that I wanted to highlight to you as well, because I mentioned that the board power draw or power limit basically was a little bit different for our card. On the left you see the default power limit is indeed the NVIDIA limit, it's 160 watts. However, in a program like Afterburner, you can put the power limit higher, and then of course it's still limited in the VBIOS, and for our card it has the highest limit for 4060 Ti's that you can see here, which is 195. yeah, I mean, media have said in their testing that it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. It's nice that you can put it, that you have that freedom, but in terms of performance and overclocking, I mean, we know that by now, these 40 series cards, there's not a whole lot of extra performance to be gained from it. So yeah, you can play around with it, but it's probably not going to net you a whole lot of extra performance.
Yeah. Okay,
right.
so
over to you. Yeah.
Giveaway?
No, go ahead.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. So if you want to participate in the giveaway, you can go to msi.com/insider, or on YouTube and Twitch you can click on the link, which according to Peter is not spam, but just a link sent by our bot.
It is.
It is, and then participate in a Gleam giveaway. We have, I just draw 2 winners. First winner is Archer with a loyalty bonus. Thank you, Archer. And the second winner is something for Peter to pronounce.
Actually, I was looking forward to you saying this one.
I would say Sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that?
That's pretty much. I mean, I think you need to, put a little bit of swag in that, like sweaty.
Sweaty. Nice name.
Sweaty.
Anyway,
congratulations.
Congrats.
To Archer and Shweddy, you also win Steam wallet codes, which will be sent out to you as soon as possible after the live stream.
Oh, Sweaty is in the chat on Twitch.
Yeah, well, I would hope so. It's always nice, Yeah, congratulations.
Nice. I'm not sure if it's this one. This is Sweaty B. Maybe,
I think
maybe another one. Sweaty A wins.
I don't know, but probably. I think Archer was there as well. I saw, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like
Thank
it.
you. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for participating, for watching.
Well, we had one time we announced the winner, and then in the end somebody was complaining, hey, wasn't it me? No, it was a different one with the same name.
There were multiple people with a very similar name, I believe. Yeah, that's true. All right, so yeah, I mean, that's enough of the slides, but again, context. Yeah, I showed you guys this as well, the comparison. Let's boot up a game, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Should we do that? So I have several games installed, and I linked them. There were like 3 different accounts that I had to share the games from. Let's start with F122 because it has a really nice benchmark. Does DisplayPort version differentiate that much? Theoretically and practically, yes. But
maybe the audio is too loud, not sure. If the audio is too loud, please let us know, because we tested it with another game. Peter, you're going to show that one later, right?
Yes, yeah.
What's it called again?
Silica.
Silica.
It's a game that I also saw some people talking about, and I got really enthusiastic about it. It's in early access still, but yeah, it looked really nice. It's a nice concept.
Yeah, so we fine-tuned the audio with the Silica, and it made a lot of noise.
You can. Grander, actually, I will do that. I've got Cyberpunk loaded up here as well, and there is a nice FPS counter there.
2 FPS.
Oh, wait. Well, talking about FPS counters, I almost forgot. Yeah. Wait.
Well. You should show it, because you showed everybody last week how to make that nice fancy overlay.
Exactly.
I didn't watch everything. Did Ruud also explain how to get it away? How to remove it?
No, but I know how to do that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out if without
so
exiting
DisplayPort versus HDMI, which one should I use and why? This really depends on your monitor.
There we go.
Because your monitor, if it's like a 4K monitor with HDR or something, it will require some certain bandwidth, and based on that you need to look at the connector you're best using for it. But it doesn't make a lot of difference. I mean, it's really in the high end where you see the differences. So if you have a 1080p like 120 Hz monitor or 144, probably it doesn't matter anything for you.
No, indeed. I mean, it really starts to become a thing if you're really playing at really high resolutions, like 8K or something, and or 4K at 120 hertz or more. But I mean, then you're talking about having a 4090 probably in most games. So let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So you see on the right side, right above me here, that's our custom Afterburner OSD layout. Which we had a live stream about last week, and actually there under the live stream on YouTube at least there is a link, and if you watch the live stream we explain exactly how you can also get this exact overview or OSD on-screen display from Afterburner.
So Ruud explains how he made it and how to customize it.
Yeah, because indeed our
Heavy
colleague
stuff.
Ruud, he made this, he customized this based on a standard design, but yeah. And also, actually, he did customize it for this specific live stream because I don't have a mouse. Well, actually, there's no mouse hand here. But on the right there, there's also a metric just below the fan, that little fan that's spinning. It says VRAM in use, and I actually asked him to add that in because, yeah, that's one of the things we want to keep our eye on. And it says how much gigs of memory. So at this point, it's 5.1 gigs of memory of 8. Because of course the limit is 8 gigabytes. Gigabytes.
Yeah, Alan is right. Ruud also posted in the MSI Global forums.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So let's see. So we have the settings. I'll quickly show you the graphic settings. Let's see. I will do a preset. So it's ultra high. Which
1080p?
Also, sorry?
1080p?
Yeah, that's actually in a different menu, but yes. So this is because it's a 1080p card, basically.
And monitor? I don't know what you have over there.
It is a 4040p monitor, I think, but I've set it to Full HD. I don't know the exact number.
It.
Sorry?
Prove it.
Prove it how?
The setting, 1080p.
Yeah, I will do. But first I want to show these settings. So everything is pretty much on Ultra, as you can see. It's the Ultra preset, Ultra High. And then in video mode, here we go. So it's 1080p, as you can see. Here's also the GPU. Full screen, auto, refresh rate. I mean, I've put it to 240 Hertz. I think that's what this monitor can do. I'm not 100% sure, but it's not limited anyway. There's no limit, and VSync is off, obviously. There is no anti-aliasing, so there's no DLSS or anything like that. It's TAA only for now, so that's purely rasterizing performance. Frame generation is off. Yeah, so basically, just general settings, high settings, ultra high, and no ray tracing, no ray tracing, no DLSS. And let's start a benchmark. Doesn't matter, just one lap is okay for now.
Belgium.
It's okay, Grander. I mean, we appreciate your input, and we could tell that you're passionate about the subject, so that's also why we engage with you. And again, we're all really up for constructive criticism or input. That's all welcome. As long as it's genuine and you are open to discussion and not just, there are some people who just want to, vent their opinion and that's it.
And move on.
Fair enough, but then
hey, so Peter,
not really worth going
1080p,
into.
high settings, right, or ultra?
This is ultra high settings,
Okay.
so this is the highest preset.
Okay, so and it's let's say high 80 frames per second.
Yeah, at the moment indeed. So, and it's really smooth. Also, there underneath the MSI logo, there you can see the frame time. So that's basically, the frame time consistency. If there is a sudden drop or something, you will see a spike there, and that is the thing you would register as a stutter, for example. Also, I mean, underneath the RTX 4060 Ti, there you can see there's a little chart which says 99% usage. So the GPU is being used for 99%. The current clock speed is just above 2800. Now it's 2790, so it's around the 2800 mark.
Those are the boost speeds.
Those are the boost speeds indeed,
Yeah.
so it boosts dynamically, of course. The power usage, as you can see at the moment, is, it's around 160 watts, so as advertised. VRAM usage is just above 6 gigs out of 8, so no problem there, of course. Wouldn't expect there to be in a game like this. And the temperature is, the card is barely hitting 50 degrees, 51, 52. So, yeah. I mean, obviously this is a very short benchmark, so to be fair, normally if you would really want to test the temperature buildup, for example, you would put this on a loop for, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours and then see what the peak temperature would be. But yeah, this is really nice and playable, and this is again ultra high settings. So if you would be playing this game in a more competitive level, let's say, you would probably, you know, tune down a couple of the graphics settings anyway, because the whole graphics fidelity doesn't matter that much if you're playing on a competitive scale. Here now we're getting the results screen. So as you can see, the average FPS 88 indeed, with a max FPS of 99, 100, and minimum dip of 74. So that's not bad at all. It's really nice and consistent. And that's without any DLSS or anything like that. So for example, if we were to enable DLSS here, let's see, graphics settings, video mode, here we go, DLSS, and we could put it on the quality mode, so right, then it's pretty much still looks really nice, especially
frame
also
generation?
on 1080p. Sorry?
Is this one frame generation?
No.
The next one?
This one is frame generation, so that one is off for now.
Are you first going to do only DLSS and then,
yes.
oh wow.
Yeah, then I can show you the layers, let's say, of performance that you can get. So now, so remember the last one was 88 FPS.
Average.
Let's run the benchmark again. It's stuttering on stream, but maybe the capture card. Oh, that could be, yeah. It looks really smooth here. So, Eric, can you check on your end if there's any stuttering going on?
No. No, not on what we're capturing, but yeah, that's always.
Yeah, exactly. So the card is now
I can have a check.
To be fair, the card is also displaying to two sources, right? So there's one connected to the monitor, which is sitting in front of me here. And then there's a second HDMI capture going to the capture card. So basically it's duplicating the screen. Shouldn't take that much performance out of it, but to be completely transparent. So it is outputting to two sources at the same time. AA is something anyone would use in 1080p, but there is AA in DLSS, anti-aliasing. Yeah, I guess. I mean, again, this, I think, well, that was TAA, wasn't it? So, anti-aliasing is there. I mean, this still looks, objectively, from my point of view, it still looks pretty nice. And I'm already seeing, I mean, this is now pretty much around 144 FPS. Okay, now it's dipping a little bit in this scene here. 129, 128. Temperature is still, it's actually way below 50 now, 48. And the fans are just spinning pretty much at the speed that the Tech Power Up review also showed, so just above 1,000 RPM, which is basically like, you know, barely spinning for these fans. So also, I can't hear the fans spinning at this speed. VRAM usage, well, it's around the 6 gig mark, which is fine.
I don't see any particular stutters on.
No. The frame time actually is also it used in the previous test benchmark. It was around 11 milliseconds, I think, was the average. So now you can already see, because of the higher frame rate, the frame time also is much lower. So now it's around around 7 milliseconds, I guess. So that means that it's, and this is actually very consistent with, and the reason why most people these days have monitors with higher refresh rates, because that will feel way more responsive. And here we go.
Well, Mr. Masterdag said, look at the trees, Erik, but I was looking at my statistics.
Ah, there you go. Okay. Well, here you can go. So the last benchmark was, average FPS was 88 FPS. Now it's already 138. And that's just adding DLSS, not frame generation, just DLSS in the quality mode, no less. So you can actually go more aggressive if you want more FPS. So you can have the balanced mode or the performance profile of a DLSS, and you would get even more performance. Yes, the visuals would suffer a bit, but you know, it depends on what you prefer and what you prioritize. And here also the average frame time, it's 7.23 milliseconds, which I believe it's way faster than the previous.
Oh no,
benchmark.
The minimum was 10. I think it was 11 point something, the average frame time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so now let's quickly enable frame generation and see what that adds. Because
now I'm watching Twitch, so.
Sorry? Yeah, okay. Okay, let's see. So leave it in the quality mode and we'll
Peter, you also need to move a little bit fast. Maybe it's you.
Sorry?
Maybe the compression cannot handle you.
Yeah, maybe. We're not using AV1, obviously, so. Okay. And then now, so now we have 2 layers of DLSS, right? So now we have enabled the DLSS 2, which in the quality mode, so the same as the previous round of benchmarks, and we've added now the layer of frame generation on top. Which, I mean, if you know the reviews, it can introduce some artifacts in, especially the names, for example, the name tags of the players. They can clip every now and again with some objects. I'm actually trying to see, yeah, I see it flickering a bit. So I'm trying to actually look for those artifacts because I know where they are, where they're most likely to occur. And I mean, they're not that obvious, but if you know where they are and you're specifically looking for them, yeah, there's a bit of flickering in the name tag from Albon there, but it's I wouldn't say it's game breaking, but again, it's an option. You can turn it on or off, this frame generation, if you prefer the higher FPS and you're okay with the well, artifacts, let's say. That's fine. This is well, I mean, DLSS 3, DLSS 2. It's a bit. I see a discussion there going on as well. Let's just say DLSS 2 is what we had last generation on the 30 series as well, and on the 20 series, which was, let's just say, the first layer of trying to reconstruct an image of from a lower resolution image. So that's actually, those are actually generated frames, let's say. The thing that DLSS 3 adds is the frame generation, which is basically, it will, between 2 frames, it will analyze the movement between those 2, and it will try to then dynamically generate a frame that basically is in between those 2 movements. So that will, it's not technically a, you know, traditionally generated frame from the GPU, from the ground up. But it does add to the perceived smoothness, and yeah, it does increase the FPS quite. No, actually, I do mean DLSS 2, because that's kind of like referring to what we had last generation, and the new thing about DLSS 3 really is the frame generation part.
So almost 190 frames per second.
There you go. So it's, you know, on average, adding DLSS in quality mode and frame generation, we go from 88 FPS on average to 187. So you basically, yeah, more than double, almost, yeah, 2.5 times as many frames. That's crazy, right? So yeah, there you go. And also the frame time, again, down from 7.35 to another 2 milliseconds shaved off to 5.35. I mean, that's, again, that will feel way more responsive. So if really, in a game like this, if you are a sim racer or something, and you really want it to feel as responsive as possible, then this is something that will help.
Yeah, I checked Twitch and there are some dropped frames.
Ah,
so
okay, fair enough. So
not
then it's
sure why.
Could be our connection. could be
we're pushing too much.
Yeah, or
like
it could
always.
be our restream service dropping the ball a bit. I don't know.
There I didn't see any problem.
No, okay. Well, so that's one example. I believe, Grander, you were asking for, sir, you were asking for Cyberpunk. So, let's indulge you. Because now we're getting into the bit more demanding games. And you can see I've also got Hogwarts Legacy installed, right? So we're not going to dodge anything. Let's see, play. This is the latest version, should be. So it's I believe the RT Overdrive, technically the RT Overdrive version of Cyberpunk.
So the best way to check the performance and the visual quality is, of course, with a recording, high quality recording.
Yeah, because I see Uncle Elias indeed on Twitch is saying the game looked mushy despite the high frame rate. It didn't look noticeably mushy on my screen, so it could be, this could be a stream issue, let's say, or a compression issue. It's difficult to say. So indeed, an actual recording would be more accurate. The most accurate thing is actually if you were sitting here looking at the monitor, right? That's that would be the most accurate thing. Right, settings, graphics. So what I will do is I will put the Steam Deck. No. Right, so let's do ultra setting, or unless you guys want to include ray tracing as well. I mean, this card obviously can do ray tracing. Let's do this first. No frame generation, no DLSS, just raw performance. Let's see. And then I think all the settings should be okay. Ray tracing is off for now. Yeah, we can do one after this with ray tracing. It is still running at 1080p, by the way, in case you guys were wondering. VSync off, obviously, maximum FPS, everything off there. So just standard settings. Texture quality high. Let's see what happens. What a benchmark. See, Eric's already working on something.
Yeah.
A little something, something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put something more in my eye.
Yeah.
I don't know why my eyes are so dry today.
Yeah, the air is a bit dry here, I guess.
Nah, I had it already.
Okay,
in the
so
office.
this is ultra preset on 1080p, no ray tracing, no DLSS, and we're seeing over 100 FPS on the latest version of Cyberpunk.
Which amazes me.
That's quite impressive indeed. And you can also see the VRAM usage, even though the texture preset was the highest, it was set to high. You can see the VRAM usage as well. It's 5.25 of 8, so yeah, we're nowhere near that limit. We're fine.
People blame my dry eyes on the FPS.
Maybe. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, this still looks pretty damn good. In terms of smoothness and the FPS, obviously the game looks good. I mean, it's Cyberpunk, and it's at ultra settings. All right, well here we go. Okay, so the minimum FPS, we did have a little bit of a dip there apparently, but the average was 121, which again is quite impressive.
So and that's something with a higher end card, which you will have less. The minimum FPS drops. Yep. And that can, I mean, if you're really into the eye candy and smooth gameplay, this can ruin your gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, the average FPS 120 looks nice.
Yes.
Looks good enough.
But a dip of this magnitude, that's basically, it halves the FPS basically. And if that happens at one instant,
you will notice.
You will notice it.
Yeah.
It will feel like a stutter. I'm not sure how much it happened. Also, there's
half of the time
spike.
maybe.
Well, there was a spike upwards to 182.
Yeah.
Also, that it feels a bit off. If there's a big spike like that, either upwards or downwards, it will feel. You will notice it.
This was without ray tracing.
This was without ray tracing, indeed. And then what I can do now, I do believe I have to actually go back to the main menu, because if you do it in the settings, they used to be. I'm not sure if it's fixed, but there used to be a bit of a bug there. You could change settings, but it wouldn't really apply them. No, ray tracing was off, Grander. But that's I'm going to enable ray tracing now, and actually set it to the highest setting, and then see how the card fares when you do that. Graphics. Still ultra preset, and I will put it in ray tracing overdrive. Actually, that might be a bit. Well, okay, let's go for overdrive. Honestly, my mouse movement right now, you can already see like the FPS in the menu right now dropped to 9. I'm not sure why that is. I'm assuming that's a bit of a bug, or at least something that's it's got to do with the settings that I just changed. But yeah, you can see everything is on. It's now path tracing. So this is not just ray tracing, it's path. This is the RT overdrive function. So that's really pushing it.
15, 10?
Maybe, I don't know.
I say 7.
We'll have to wait and see. You can see the VRAM usage, by the way, is now going
close to 8.
Yeah, it's up to 7.7. So now we are pushing the boundaries a bit, perhaps.
Well,
but again, I mean, there as well. RT overdrive is like it's like more like a tech demo, let's say. So it's path tracing. This isn't even ray tracing. This is path tracing.
No, well, you say this isn't even. This is the holy grail.
This is well, that's the thing. But the thing is, like, what I mean by that is it's not optimized. It's not meant to provide smooth gaming experience. This is meant to kind of, you know, test the limits of the graphics cards
And
show
Helios
the
was quite
potential.
close with 34.
Sorry? Yeah. Now we're even going upwards a bit because I guess the scenes are a little bit less complex or a little bit less ray tracing, I'm not sure. But there you can see, yeah. And even then, I mean, yes, it's quite close to the 8 gig VRAM usage limit. But I guess we're not hitting it yet. Otherwise, there would probably be stuttering, I would expect. Overdrive is the death of FPS. Yeah, but it used to be that just pure ray tracing, you know, turning ray tracing on would be the death of FPS, which it still has an impact, but it's
using about 150 watts.
Yeah, as well. So it's a bit lower usage. So there you go. The average indeed was 31.35. So, oh sorry, no, that's the minimum. 46 FPS.
Okay, now maybe switch on all the DLSS 3 frame generation.
You want me to just turn everything on, yeah?
Yeah, why not?
But that's an overdrive, right? So I think after this we also have to do one in like normal ray tracing mode. What motherboard are we using? Yeah, B760 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. Oh, I didn't notice that it was actually in the menu already. Here we go. Graphics. Okay, yeah. Frame generation on and DLSS quality. No, not auto. Quality. There you go.
You don't want this. I'm selecting this for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure if it's a bug or a feature.
Turn it up to 11. Yeah, indeed.
It's like, no, I'll choose for you. Flick all the switches. Yeah. Right. I mean, Uncle Elias, that's not fair. If you say $400 for a 1080p 40 FPS ray tracing card, it's not ray tracing, this is path tracing. So at least get that right. At least say path tracing. And that's why actually I wanted to make sure that after this, and this is still path tracing, after this we will do the ray tracing, the actual ray tracing. That would be more fair because that's the setting that they will have for actual gameplay, right?
Yeah, this is more like a tech demo. Something for the future. I mean, this is the reason why NVIDIA and AMD need to make faster GPUs.
Yeah, because in the end they want to have real-time path traced games. That would be the thing. Grander, you're surprised? Does that mean you're impressed by its performance?
Well, but Grander, I mean, he should not forget he's talking 4K. This is only 1080p.
Yeah, that's right. If you're used to a 4090, which I believe you were saying that you have, you know, anything less than a 4090 is you know, not going to impress you that much, right? Let's be honest. Particle path tracing, so dust and light particles, yeah. So this is with all the bells and whistles enabled, let's say. So this is the DLSS in quality mode and frame generation enabled. And as you can see now, the average FPS suddenly is 77 with a dip of 51. So that's not bad at all. That's pretty playable if you can live with the you know, the graphical compromises that you may or may not notice with DLSS 3 with frame generation. But that's a huge difference. And now if we just go to the regular ray tracing setting, and I will still go ray tracing ultra. So because there's 3 settings I noticed. There's like ray tracing, you know, light, let's say, there's medium, and there's ultra.
In reality, you don't see the difference that much.
If you know where to look, you will.
Yeah.
But that's why, you know, fair enough. Let's try the highest setting. So let's see. We have ray tracing ultra. And frame generation off and DLSS off. And let's see, when we apply this, does everything
Peter, you're generating so many statistics. We need to remember all the frame times.
No, you don't. Well, you only need to have a couple of them. The thing is, here we go. Ray tracing is all on. Let's say path tracing is off,
Ultra.
and DLSS and frame generation are also off.
Yeah.
And then after this, we're going to run one more with the DLSS and frame generation on, to show the difference there. So this is the ultra ray tracing profile.
Well, most games, when they're talking about ray tracing, it's like this. It's not path tracing. That's like a tech demo.
Yes.
I think they also have like they did it in Minecraft already, right?
For a long time ago. That was actually one of the first games that got path tracing, together with Quake 2, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So here we can already see,
somebody is artifact hunting.
It's not great, but still, this is the ultra ray tracing profile. So this is still the top profile, just under path tracing. So it's still going to be very intensive graphically.
I see my green screen is playing up.
Is it? Oh. Is it trying to get away from you?
Yeah. Well, leave it. Oh, it's... oh no.
Yeah, you guys are completely right. On a 4090, it's not really comparable. You can buy multiple 4060 Ti's for the price of a single 4090. Right, that's...
The wattage use is also pretty impressive. So about 150 watts. Yep. Yes, 1080p.
Yeah, still 1080p indeed. I think we're nearing the end. There we go. Yep. So without any bells and whistles, and in the ray tracing ultra profile, 43.7. So not really what we would recommend.
You remember what path tracing was?
I think it was, wasn't it 40? No, it was similar, something similar, I believe.
I thought 30 something. Ah, we will watch it back tomorrow.
Something like that. All right, let's...
this is the problem, Peter. You throw so many numbers at us.
You just need to remember the last one.
Okay.
All right, let's see if we can get
43, right?
Yeah, 43. Okay. And now we will add frame generation and DLSS in the quality mode, if it will apply that. Probably, yeah, there we go. It will go back to auto. And other than that, all the ray tracing settings are still on and on ultra. So let's run another benchmark now.
So this is normal ray tracing, ultra settings with DLSS 3 and frame generation.
Yes.
Wow.
And as you can see, it's also still getting close to the 8 gigs limit of the VRAM, but it's closer to 7.
Above 100.
It's above 100, and usually in the later stages of the benchmark, it will get a higher FPS.
You know what the interesting part is? It consumes less power.
It does, because it's actually it's relying more on the
RT cores.
the tensor cores, I want to say.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So first it was using, it always differs in the scenes, but 150 watts. Now you see 138, 132, 141.
Yeah.
So let's say 140 watts. So you have higher FPS, you have less power usage.
Slightly less, yeah.
For most people will not see the difference, the artifacts, and they are there. And each generation DLSS, they're working on improving these kind of artifacts.
Yeah. Exactly. And we're now at the end of this benchmark. And it's probably near the 120 FPS on average with the minimum FPS was a big, I didn't even see that, but apparently it did dip to 40. 42, so that's
we did not notice that here.
Yeah, and then the max FPS is 141. So I mean that's quite.
That's what? Oh, this is the RTX
Ruby Doge is asking which GPU this is. I guess no, this is the 4060 Ti with 8 gigs of VRAM. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So a huge difference there, because you go from 43 FPS on average to 100, almost 120. Granted, if you have many of these dips that are that low, that will be noticeable. So I don't remember seeing this, but it has to have happened. So
will be interesting to see AMD's FSR 3 frame generation, supposedly with 4 frames. If it's really with 4 frames, why are they not calling it FSR 4?
I have no idea. But
yeah, I saw some news about that. So
it's always nice to see these developments, because in the end, these kinds of technologies all benefit gamers, benefit you guys.
Next week is also Computex, so probably a lot of news will come out.
Yeah.
A lot of new things, a lot of new announcements.
Okay. Do we want to show the other game? Silica?
Yeah, we still have 1 minute left. No, you can go
well,
ahead.
Yeah, we're running indeed a bit late, and I do want to show this game as well because I do like the initiative. It's a game still in early access actually. So yeah, if you want to buy it, I think it's not too expensive if I remember correctly. You have to put your age there apparently.
Oh, shall I do another giveaway?
Yeah, you can.
I actually already
did. 20 euros in Europe. I'm not sure in dollars. It's probably somewhere close there as well.
10 euros?
No, 20.
Oh, 20.
Yeah, but it's early access. I believe it only went into early access a week or two ago. I believe 3rd of May, 3 weeks ago maybe. But it's really interesting. If any of you guys remember, what was it? Command and Conquer Renegade.
Yeah.
Which tried to combine the strategy element of Command and Conquer, but also allow you the opportunity to become or jump into the battlefield basically as one of the guys taking orders and fighting the enemy and stuff like that, and maybe jumping into vehicles. That's exactly what this game is doing. So I really like this concept, and especially the way
Play it,
it's
don't
going.
show us a video clip.
Oh.
I have YouTube at home.
Yeah, sorry. Let me see, library.
Okay, next prize winner, Int Boy, congrats, also with loyalty bonus. You can still participate after this, we're still going to give away. What are we going to give away, Peter?
Oh, Steam wallet code.
Oh yeah, Steam wallet code,
There
yes,
you go.
thank you.
Yeah.
Go to msi.com/2/insider or participate in the Gleam giveaway on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Twitch or YouTube.
So again, this game is early access, and that also means that, I mean, I've put the overlay here, of course, so you can see how the PC performs, but this is really not optimized yet. It's more like a demo game, I guess, and it's really in the middle of development. It's not optimized yet. And there's still a lot of bugs. I remember,
chat,
I believe,
chat. Here we are, chat.
a lot of the, what's it called? Like you get, like, if you ever played Command and Conquer, you have like these refineries, same thing here, and they send out this harvester, let's say, so a vehicle that mines certain crystals, and it needs to come back to kind of drop off the load that it harvested, right? So, and there were a lot of path tracing, so that these harvesters got stuck, and they never.
Oh, you're confusing everybody. Path tracing? Like ray tracing?
No. Path tracing, as in, you know.
Yeah, so
pathing,
you're confusing
I guess,
everybody.
Like finding the path to the building, let's say. Here you can see actually. So you need to select a team, and then you can select if you want to start out as infantry or the commander. The commander is the strategy part, let's say, and the infantry is like you're one of the guys there. I will start off as commander. Here you go. And this is your base building. The game will
resume
start in a couple of seconds.
It's paused.
Oh, okay. Don't know why it was. But yeah, this is your base building, and this basically, here you start out with building a lot of things. I'm not an expert in any means in this game, so I'm just a noob, and I'll
You're just somebody clicking around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've played it a little bit, and I watched a video of other people playing this who are actually good at it, and I just thought that looks like a lot of fun. So that's why I bought it, and I wanted to give it a try. Anyway, so you can build something like a refinery here. So I'm going to place that here, and from what I remember them saying in those videos is it's a good idea to build multiple refineries because you want to get your economy going as soon as possible. So
yeah, good remark, Uncle Elias. This game is now playing like below 100 watt.
Yeah.
80.
Yeah.
89.
So also there, I mean, I wouldn't put too much attention into how the game performs yet, because again, it's really not optimized at all, I guess. So that will probably change a lot. But I also don't hear any sound, by the way. But
sorry, sound?
Yeah, I don't hear any game sounds, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm not wearing a headset. We don't have
that.
speakers here, so you guys probably hear it.
Yeah, they hear
I don't.
I see it.
But as you can see here, then it starts building these buildings like this, basically. It looks really nice. So
pouring the concrete.
Yeah, well, it looks like it indeed. So I really like that, and also the simmering effect, like for the heat, basically. And while it's doing that, I can jump into, for example, one of the guys. So I press T, and then I need to select my team, which is this one. I'm the humans, and then I can select infantry, and I spawn at my base.
Oh, I thought it was like a building game. You needed to build the buildings.
Well, I just did. These are the buildings I was just putting up.
Okay, yeah.
So here you go.
Is it still hot? If you walk over it, you burn?
No. Well, I don't know. Oh, that was a big dip there.
You see it also in the afterburner.
There's like a safe zone.
Yeah, don't go there. Still hot.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if it's still hot, but at least at the moment they configured it in a way that it needed to be constructed. Something being constructed there as well. So that's actually when you jump into being one of the players or one of the guys on the field, the AI actually takes over the strategy part. Let's say. So it will also offer.
So now you're on a winning streak again.
I don't know, probably, yeah. But it will also issue orders. So at the very top, you can see now says utilize teleportation to quickly move across the map. Oh, I just got killed actually because I.
Really?
I was in the wrong spot here. I guess, but I should be respawning any moment now. Here we go. Yeah.
Didn't follow orders.
Well, that's one of the things, like the UI still needs to be tweaked a bit, obviously, but it's a bit of a rough diamond. But I think the style looks really nice.
Textures look nice.
Textures look nice. I do believe it's built in what is it? Unreal Engine 5, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and you can teleport across the field. At least the part of the map, let's say, that you have discovered already. I think you can transport there.
And are you now playing against AI?
Yeah, AI aliens indeed. Yeah. This is one of the refineries. And I just quickly want to see if I can get near one of the harvesters.
Can you hop in as well?
Sorry?
Can you hop in one of the harvesters?
No, those are like automatically, the AI basically just does. So that's one of the harvesters.
Yeah, I now see one.
But I just want to kind of give you an idea, a sense of scale. Because if you run up to it, you're like, holy crap, this thing is big. Look at that. It has like a helipad on top there as well. And it even has like auto turrets, let's say, for a bit of defense. But as you can see here, it's harvesting these crystals. So it's it's called. I'm not sure what it was called anymore.
This is a June game, yeah.
Something. Well, Command & Conquer, June, something like that. But yeah, I mean, you can see, and this is huge, right? You can see that the scale, this thing is big. But then if I jump back into the commander view, let's say, so this is the thing. Yeah. This was what I mean. So it just shows you the scale.
And where's the guy? Is that the white dot? That's you? That was you?
No, this is the white dot. Basically says this is where the crystals are.
But where's the player? Which
I don't know. I think he
around?
Disappeared because I think I killed myself or something when I switched again. I'm not sure. But yeah, at the moment there's no funds, no resources, so we'll have to wait until some of the harvesters are coming in.
Oh, Peter, can you please switch to 3D mode again? I wasn't paying attention, but like I call this 2D mode. It's not really, but like this is about 70 to 80 watts. Can you switch back to the 3D mode where you walk around?
Well, yeah. Let me.
Well, I would like to see if that's more demanding, and maybe, in other words, if it's a different engine.
It could be, and it could also be that. Let me quickly see.
Yeah. Oh.
So, I mean, it's full HD again.
No, don't touch anything.
The graphics fidelity is set to ultra. So yeah, and I've disabled. I mean, there is camera shake, and there are like big aliens as well. And when they come stomping by, you'll be like all like shaking like that. But I've disabled that because I hate that with a passion.
So we're talking about 100 watts here.
Yeah.
Interesting. If you're in desktop mode,
the AI built a barracks
you
here.
Use less power.
And in the barracks, I can actually change my loadout, meaning I could select to be a different type of thing. Right now, I'm a scout, let's say. So I'm quite lightly armored and lightly armed, actually. But if I want to be a rifleman, I'm not sure if I have enough funds to do this. No, I don't actually, I think. Oh, confirm. Yeah, well, actually I do. Yeah, here we go. So now I have a more powerful rifle, and I have a bit of a different loadout. And eventually, I mean, there's if the game lasts long enough, there's going to be vehicles as well. I mean, you saw the buggies already, I believe.
Marcus Aurelius is saying low power and low performance. Well, I don't want to say low performance.
Well, let's just say there's a lot of optimization that can still be done here.
Yeah.
Because what this means is that, I mean, you can see the GPU as well. It's being used, the utilization is about 72%, 74.
No,
So
no,
it's
he
not
was
really
talking about
using-
the GPU in general.
Yeah, but it's not really using a lot of,
Kill him.
or the
Shoot.
whole performance anyway. No, this is a human. So if
Yeah,
it's
so?
if it, well then.
Oh, you
that's-
are the bug hunter.
Yes, that will be team killing. So yeah, that's when.
So when are they coming?
Well, they should appear at some point, and then at the top it should tell me to go and attack
Okay.
some of these monsters, but it could take a little while. I mean, the map, as you can see, is, well, it's relatively big. I think, yeah, some bugs have been spotted there in the middle.
Yeah.
In
The red dots.
But it's not really. Attack the crab. Here we go. So, and there they are. So you can see there's a red target marker there. So it's telling me to go there. And actually, these so this is how baby harvesters are born. These harvesters are mating.
Yeah.
So there's no. There's still a bit of. I want to stay out of there.
This is not an 18
Out of the way.
plus stream.
No, not really. But I mean, this is one of the things that's also still in this game is not really resolved yet. As in, you know, the collision and
They're
and
fighting.
tapping,
It's my crystal. No.
something like that. Yeah, yeah. Looks like dinosaurs fighting. Yeah. Attack the impaler. Ooh, the impaler is actually quite dangerous. I believe it can shoot from a distance.
Looks like a long walk.
It is, yeah. But there are vehicles. It's just there's none near me at the moment. Let's see if I can get up here. I shouldn't fall off a cliff because it will damage. I will take damage, I believe.
Is it on? Oh, is it on this side of the cliff, or you
No,
have
it's,
to?
well, that's. I was actually trying to find that out. I think it's still on the other side, although I'm not 100% sure. But they will come over eventually because they want to come
wanna
over
eat.
to this side. Yeah, so it's still on the other side of the cliff, I do believe.
Can you
I can't really teleport over or anything like that.
grappling
no.
hook or something?
And I'm not sure. Yeah, he's actually heading away, so he's probably trying to find a way to come over here, or at least in this direction. Let's see.
Not sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I need to. It's like a crescent-shaped mountain here, or
Yeah.
so I need to get around that.
And the map is each time different, I guess.
Not really. There are. This
Okay.
is one of the maps that you can select.
Oh,
but
like
there's,
that, yeah.
There's multiple ones.
Not
let's see if I can-
AI-generated real-time maps, but
Yeah, but you can see the
predefined.
blue guys there. That's all my guys. Let's say.
and green. That's the ore or the crystals.
That's the aliens indeed. Or,
Yeah.
or sorry, what do you mean? Those green icons
Yeah.
around? That's that's the ore or whatever the resources indeed.
Yeah.
And then the red icons, of course, are the enemy or the bugs. Or
Well, I don't think we will see any bugs today.
why not?
Good
No
luck.
jetpack. No, well, not yet. Again, you know, this is a game still in development. Maybe they'll add it at some point. Attack the horn crab. Where is it? Oh, there on that side. Oh, it's quite
Can you
far.
not like kill a small bug that the big bug is coming?
Well, I first need to see a small bug, obviously. That's the problem here. And if I don't see a small bug, I can't kill it. Oh, wait, yeah, I think there's one there. I saw something heading in that direction.
Oh yeah, I'm blocking the radar. Sorry.
No, it's not on the radar, I believe, but I saw something here.
Well, isn't that your AI co-worker like that
Oh,
one?
it
Just
is, yeah.
snipe him.
What?
Snipe him.
This guy.
Beam him. Yes, like that.
He's dead.
You got points for that?
No.
Okay,
I
you
probably got
got
points deducted for it. Let me see. Well, there are some on this side. It's a shame that there's no vehicle being pushed out at the moment.
Should you buy one?
If I have resources, I mean, let me check indeed. Let me go back to
Hey.
commander view. There are some resources coming in
Build
right now.
armory.
And then let me see if I can, because I will spawn near my base. So maybe if I have, let's see what I have. Mark III. This is research.
Something with a big rocket on top of it.
Well, at the moment we don't have. There's multiple vehicle factories. Let's say. So there's a heavy vehicle factory here as well. I have enough to build that. So. Do I already have one? No.
Put it close to the insects.
Indeed. And then this is a light vehicle factory, so light armored car. This one I believe has
You only need one, right?
Sorry?
You only need one.
I know. So I'm building one, and that should allow me to
oh, it's
scoot
shooting
across.
on top left.
Is it?
It was? Something.
Well, I mean, there are some. I mean, we can look for. This is a shrimp, as it said. Shrimp is like the harvester unit for the aliens. Not really a fighting unit.
It looks like heavily inspired.
Impaler. So this is one of the aliens. It looks like a scorpion, very menacing. Oh. And it can actually, as you can see, it was shooting as well, and it's being shot now as well. The health bar is here.
Run.
Some of these aliens can also bury themselves in the sand for an ambush, which is rather cool. Here's a crab. This is a really basic unit for the aliens as well.
And you can also play as alien, right?
You can, yes. Yeah. You got killed by this guy now. This is a horned crab, so that one is a bit more dangerous than the regular crab, and it has a bit more armor, but this one's about to die as well. And there's like, big, behemoth, gargantuan, there's like really big armored aliens as well later on in the game that can start to attack your base, and becomes a bit more dangerous then. Let's see where my vehicle is. Did it? Okay, it's nearly done. Here we go. Then I will ask it to go near my base. I should be able to jump in there. And my vehicle factory, I mean, everything takes a while, right? I mean, it shouldn't be too fast. Let's see. And then there's even, if I upgrade to my technology tree, it enables more buildings and other units to be built. I mean, it's still, again, it's still really in development and quite basic. But I like it so far. It's quite nice. And again, it really reminds me of that vibe of Command & Conquer and other games that we used to play. It's just in a new skin, let's say. Let's build another refinery here, so we have a really strong economy. Okay, so the armored car is nearly there. Here we go. And now let's jump in. Infantry. Where is my car? What? Oh, was it on the other side then? It was, wasn't it? Crap. See, this is it's still a bit disorienting when you jump into the game. Then and you're like, okay, which corner? Where is it? So it was probably exactly on this side. The thing here is that I should be able to claim the vehicle as soon as I see it. But to do that, I first have to see it.
Nope.
Oh my god. Really? I think it might have driven off.
Without you?
Yeah, well, it's a unit and it's being commanded by the AI now. So it is possible. Oh, come on. Let's look on my map. Where is it? Is it maybe still here somewhere then? Did I completely miss it? No?
Why don't you switch to the commander mode?
Or did I send it to the wrong building? Wait, no, that wouldn't make any sense.
There are bugs, yeah, true.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's early access. Marksman, no, see, it is. Where did it go? What the hell, light quad?
Can you not pick up, please?
Sorry?
Maybe already eaten by the
light armored car. There it is. So you see, it drove off. Come on. Right, so this is the heavy vehicle factory now. I don't have any funds left, but these are like a hover tank, a rocket launcher, a heavy armored car. These have bigger guns and stuff. And then you have like big siege tanks as well, which have big plasma cannons. Really cool. Cool sounds effects as well. Oh, here's I think this is actually a ultra heavy vehicle factory being built here. So yeah, but let's see, where's my light vehicle? It's coming back. I really need to see if I can park it up somewhere here so it doesn't get away from me quite as easily. FPS has dropped a little bit, but again, like it's still a very early access game. I think this actually might be a very short game because by the look of it, my units and my AI indeed has done quite a good job, and pretty much is decimating the enemy base. A hunter, so this is another alien. This is a bit faster one. That's a bit of a shame because I was hoping that it would. Maybe I can send the guys back for now, so it's like they don't attack their base yet. Because yeah, the aliens also have really cool units, like a very big one. Oh, that's one of my cars that just exploded. That was killed by this guy, who's now also dead. But yeah, they have really big, impressive units as well that can really menace your base and mess it up. Let's see. Okay, so my car is here now.
No, quickly switch.
Working on it.
Yeah, jump. There it is.
Claim. When I claim it, it will wait for me, or
okay.
either that or come to me. So now I can drive the vehicle.
No, go kill some.
Attack the hunter. Where is the hunter? That's 2 kilometers from here. But at least now it's a bit faster.
This game is called Silica, right?
Silica, yes, correct. Let's see, so I can go through the top here. But yeah, this one has like an auto cannon.
And they have like helis and jets?
No, not. There's no flying units. At least not right now. There's also a secondary attack, so it's like a machine gun, as you saw. I don't hear the sound, so I'm just doing the sound effects myself.
They are hearing the sound
but
effects.
this is still a relatively light unit. So in the vehicle factories, like the heavy vehicle factory and the ultra heavy vehicle factory, yeah, you have other units that can be built. And especially the tanks are really nice. I mean, they're slow and a bit cumbersome, but the firepower they bring to bear is really cool. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay, so AI is taking over again and it's attacking their base, obviously.
Drive, Forrest, drive.
I am, yeah. I mean, that's the thing about heavily armed and armored vehicles. They're a bit slower than, for example, the buggies. Yeah, they're really pushing into their base already, so I'm not sure if we will be killing anything. It's the thing that I was hoping to do, because if you really want to get into the action, what you really want to do is, like, you know, jump into one of the units that are actually, you know, engaging the enemy. Like Agent Smith in the Matrix, you know, you basically want to morph into that character and then go and fight. But unfortunately, that's not.
And can you not speed up the game like time lapse?
No, at the moment, no. I mean, that indeed, normally in a strategy game, yeah, you would be able to do that. I'm not sure if that's something you can do in the strategy mode on this game. This might actually be over a bit too soon. I was expecting the AI to put up a bit more of a fight, but because I have played 1 or 2 games before and it actually got pretty close at some point, so that was pretty cool. No, I didn't lose, but yeah, at least it was an interesting fight, let's say. which is better than, you know, again, like a cakewalk.
My strategy is always build, or first resources, then build everything, and then one big attack and hope you win, and otherwise I lose interest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Almost.
But, yeah, my guys are quite near their base as well. Let's see what happens. I believe that there's an alien there. No, that's a light quad actually. That's also a quad.
Boom, boom, boom. Is the enemy still home? Or the home?
They are. They
still
are.
There.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Oh, actually, it's coming over to me. So here's a. What is this? A crab. So it's dead. But I mean, a crab is a really basic unit. And here's their base. So yeah, I mean, I think if we're getting this quality, you can see our guys are attacking their base as well. So.
Ooh.
Yeah, I actually can run over them and kill them, so I have to be careful there. I mean, their base, it's not that easy to destroy. It takes a while, but well, actually this thing doesn't, by the look of it. It's a shame we didn't get to see like the really big units from the aliens, because they are quite imposing and interesting. So
Grander, last week Ruud and Peter showed how you get that afterburner overlay.
Yes.
How to make it, how to customize it, how to install it. The download is there as well. Because we're done for this week. I don't think Peter has any big enemies to show.
No, unfortunately no, but yeah.
And he will be here at, until 11, destroying the base.
Probably, yeah. Again, if we have like some bigger tanks, that would speed things up. But at the moment, I mean, the enemy is finished in a way. They don't even have any.
Are we seeing explosions?
Any harvesting units anymore? So it's really just their base that's left. Well, we're getting there. And there's not really a satisfying end screen either yet. Basically, it just if the game is over, it just says restarting in a certain.
I have a satisfying end screen, Peter.
I know. I know. So next week, I mean, do tell everybody about it.
Yeah, next week, Computex again. A lot of our colleagues in HU were in panic because it was 3 years ago. The physical Computex event was there.
Yeah.
So now, you know, organizing an event as big as Computex is a lot of work. So everybody was really overloaded, busy, complaining. And yeah, we're not there. We're here in Holland from a studio, but still we're going to show you all the new products, all the announcements. We're having a booth tour. I saw some nice...
A what? A what? A booth tour?
A booth tour. Booth tour.
Yes.
Anyway, we're walking you around at the
Well,
venue.
finally there is a physical event at Computex. It's been quite a long time.
Yeah, indeed, with all the COVID-19 restrictions. Yeah. So that's next week. Last winner for today will be...
Go ahead.
Nigerian? Yeah, Nigerian.
Congratulations, Nigerian.
Congrats.
Yes, we'll get the code out to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, we hope, despite... we hope, despite the 8 gig, it was still interesting
and
today.
Despite the phone that went off?
Yeah, I blocked it, but my company phone, I cannot block that one.
Whoops.
That's the problem.
Yes. Well, anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you found it interesting. Hope we answered most of your questions. If not, let us know in the comments, and we'll see if we can answer them there. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week with the Computex 2023 coverage.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Take care. Thanks for watching.